Welcome back to Mark and Nick's Excellent Film Podcast. I'm Mark.
And I'm Nicholas.
And today we're wrapping up Back to the Future trilogy with Back to the Future Part 3, obviously. It'd be kind of weird if we were like just skipping.
Part 4. The end of the trilogy. That would have been kind of funny.
I'm so glad there isn't a 4.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't tried to remake this, honestly.
It's because the producers refused to let it go.
That's good.
Like Steven Spielberg, Zemeckis, and Bob Gale own it.
Mm-hmm.
Own it. So like no one can touch it until they die.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And they've had millions of offers to do a 4, but like they're like, Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's. No,
Yeah.
we're not gonna have Marty with Parkinson's.
Why don't they just do what they did to the dad and
Just recast it. Yeah. Just have Doc
recast
Brown.
him and have him be upside down the whole time?
I mean, there is a sequel. There's a couple of sequels to this.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Back to the Future, the animated series in the early '90s, which is following the adventures of Doc, his family, and Marty
Wow.
as they go to dinosaur times.
Interesting.
And then there's a video game that they did, which is practically this.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a really good video on YouTube from Channel Awesome called What If There Was a Back to the Future 4? And it's actually very, very good. It's actually very well written.
Cool.
And well voice acted, so check that out. I think this one's better than 2,
Mm-hmm.
personally.
I also thought it was.
Until the end.
Yeah, the ending, I don't know. It got too happy.
Too sappy for you?
Yeah.
Well,
Too, like the last 20 minutes is just all sappiness.
well, it's because it's post 1982 Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
You know, once E.T. comes out, you can't have a cynical ending anymore. You can't have a Jaws where it's just like, Quint's dead, but we beat the shark. That
I can go in the water now.
Yeah, the bittersweetness of it. Instead, we have to have happy. Everyone's good.
Yeah.
We defeated time.
I think the setting was great in this one too. I think the first one
It's perfect.
the first one's perfect. I think the second one just tries to do the first one again.
Well, the second one's trying to
boring.
do way too much.
Mm.
It's doing future, dystopian Biff era,
Yeah.
back to the 50s, and then it's just like, we're doing too much.
Yeah, you're right. Then you were talking, they have a couple callbacks in this movie to the second one. And I was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Well, it's because all the callbacks are from that one scene that's like atrocious. The scene with Marty's family.
Yeah.
You know,
isn't he playing like 3 people in that scene?
Yeah, he's playing his daughter, his son, himself, and we have upside down, not Crispin Glover.
Yeah. What a nightmare.
Yeah. And yeah, that shit sucks. But anyway, this movie I think is a bit better. I think, like I said, I like Back to the Future Part 2, but I think you have to really be in the mood for it. Because if you're not in the mood for it, it's too convoluted and it's like annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's funny that this is a series where it's like, all right, we have a time machine. We can do whatever we want. If you're going back to 1955 every time, let's always be there. And I think that's kind of like annoying.
Another thing they always do is go, let's show the clock tower lightning scene again.
Yeah.
For the 8th time in this series.
Yeah, we open with the ending of the first movie. You know, great. And also the ending of the second movie.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like, you've seen the 70s Superman movie, right?
No, I don't think I have.
So the 70s Superman, do you care if I spoil it?
Nah.
Well, spoilers for the next like 45 seconds. The Superman movie ends with Superman turning the world back so he can go back in time.
Yeah.
The second one ends with Superman pulling the world back to go back in time. And it's just like, can you come up with another ending?
Yeah.
Like, please? Like,
it's
like.
Then they went, it's a multiverse.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to go back to 1955 every time.
Something can happen.
Although I do love the Doc waking up and he's like, I sent Marty to 1985. 1985, but I had his vision of Marty saying he was back, and then Marty's like, "Hey Doc," and he just freaks the fuck out.
Yeah, that whole first scene where they're like explaining the ending of 2 to the beginning of 2 Doc is great, as confusing as that is to say. Marty has the letter, which I think is a pretty shitty prop, but
it was a great pop in the second one.
Yeah.
Because it was actually in the rain.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. It got stiff from like.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They talk about how interested they were and how well kept it was, and then
yeah,
maybe I'll have to look more into it.
But
because
doesn't water like get stiff if like you all right, that makes sense.
But if you look at the prop, it's like it has water damage on like the edges and the middle's fine, and it's just like overcolored. Yeah. It just looks weird to me. It looks like when I did it in middle school to make an ancient scroll for a play.
Yeah.
Like,
what was the play about?
I don't know. It's probably something.
Yeah,
dumb.
Nick's a journeyman. He doesn't care what the project is. He's just doing it. He's doing his best.
Yeah. Paycheck's a paycheck.
Yeah.
But that whole scene's great. There's a couple scenes that are awesome.
I really like the bit where Doc is reading the letter that Doc sent from 1885, and he's like getting emotional and choked up about it. And he's like, "I never thought I could say something that deep."
Yeah, wow, this is actually beautiful.
Yeah,
there's a ton of good like facial acting from him. There's like a random scene where it's like 3 steps up in the blacksmith shop, and Marty's down on the ground floor and Doc is up top, and he's just in a full squat talking to Marty.
Yeah,
and it's just like weird random stuff like that I think Christopher Lloyd like knocked it out of the park with his performance, and I feel like it's more than in the other 2 in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's always been like the big draw of the movies. Like, it's not Michael J. Fox.
No,
like, Michael J. Fox is great, but like, it's Doc.
Yeah,
it's Doc and Biff. And
oh god, Biff is so good in this one.
And it's also like and in the first one it's the dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's never been Marty.
Yeah, and that's why they were like, oh, let's put 6 Martys in the movie. Maybe then he'll equal out to be a main character. And then it just makes him way worse.
Yeah, like I think we talked about this in 2 where I was not a big fan of Michael J. Fox playing his son or his daughter.
Yeah.
I just think it's like goofy 80s nonsense.
Mm-hmm. I was okay with the son, but then having him play himself and then his old self and then his son too. I was like,
and then his daughter.
Yeah, and the daughter was like...
egregious.
Yeah, that's how I was like, okay, how did Jack and Jill happen in a world post Back to the Future 2? But then like... Biff is sick. He's so good. He plays his cowboy guy fantastic, and he plays the rich future. We need to. There's like the original.
Wait,
future.
how many Biffs? Are you asking how many Biffs there are?
There's only 2 in this one, right?
Yeah, there's older Biff who's like the pussy Biff.
Yeah, the car wash one.
And then there's Mad Dog Tannen.
Yeah.
So over the series, he's played young Biff, like douchebag, older Biff, and then he plays Pussy Biff, and then he played Trump Biff,
and
he played Old Man Biff, and he played Griff, and then he played Mad Dog Tannen.
Yeah,
so
it's insane.
Yeah,
and all of them are good, unique characters. Too.
Yeah. Unlike Michael J. Fox, where it's like I feel like for him it's like the gag is that like
I'm Irish.
It's it's Michael J. Fox, but he has an Irish drawl, or it's like Michael J. Fox, and now I'm a girl.
Yeah,
and it's just like that's not.
Yeah, I really hated his character in this one. The
Irish guy,
first generation Irish immigrant guy.
Yeah, they should have casted like an Irish actor. I always find it weird. It's like, it's Marty Joseph, and they look exactly alike, and it's just like that's.
Yeah.
The dad didn't look like him. The mom didn't look like him.
And this is 5 generations away. It's like,
yeah. So are we confirming that incest is a McFly trait?
That's a great point.
Like,
we got to keep the Marty face strong in our family ties.
Yeah, because at this point, like the relatives had to see this kid and like, all right, there's something fucked up about this kid.
Like,
Wouldn't it have been an interesting plot point if they would have had like Marty fuck someone who looked like his mom, but wasn't his mom. Like, he falls in love with this girl in 1885 who looks like his mom, and then you find out that the seed that he did, and it's just this weird long line of incest.
And he's the root cause of it.
Yeah. To create Marty, he needed to fuck a family member.
Oh god.
Or he's his own great grandfather.
Yeah.
Now that's a thinker.
Now that's a happy ending.
Yeah. Now that's something that's gonna make you think. But no, you give that subplot to the doc.
Mm-hmm.
This one has a lot more plot holes, I feel.
Yeah.
Or like more like noticeable. Where on 2 there is a lot, but there isn't like, why don't you just do that moments.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's this thing where Marty has like Doc leaves the DeLorean in this cave so that 1955 Doc can get Marty back to the present. But when Marty decides to go back to 1885, which we'll get to that in a second, he cuts the gas thing.
Yeah, the fuel line.
The fuel line
arrowed.
Yeah, so he can't. But now since there's no gas, they can't fix the DeLorean.
Mm-hmm.
Question: so why wouldn't they just take that one, put it where the 1955 one with the gas is?
Mm-hmm.
Take that one, go to the fucking future, end the series.
Yeah. 20 minutes into the movie.
Exactly. But instead they're like, because it's not like it's hard to get to.
Yeah, and that's because it's definitely not an active mind when he hides it there either.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very. It's one of those problems with, I think, all time travel things. Especially when you get to a third movie and it's all the same timeline jumping over each other.
Yeah.
It's like you're bound to have these, like, oh, this is pretty close. Like, I remember in Endgame, they, like, talk about their time travel rules and then, like, instantly break them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Just don't have that 5-minute scene and just do whatever you want because you're going to anyways.
Yeah. This is one movie... called Time of Time. Great movie, but it has like one of the weirdest plot holes with the time travel thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it can travel to any time period, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when he travels to the future, it's like the time travel machine is on the display as like a thing that never like worked.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like saying like, all right, so the way it time travels is it's just going to be where the machine would be.
Uh-huh.
So how the fuck is he going to go back to the past then if it wasn't made?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Or like in the future when it's crushed and then recycled into 150 aluminum cans.
Exactly. Like, I feel like Back to the Future is the best with it, but it's just like this is a glaring one. Like, even as a kid, I was like, why don't they just get the same the other one? Even
combine them.
Theoretically, let's say that they just like, oh, well, we can't take that one. All right, then fucking Doc, put a fucking tube in the gas tank, siphon some fucking gas, guy.
Yeah.
You know, like just siphon the gas.
Yeah, or just, create unleaded gasoline.
Yeah.
Just be ahead of the time.
That's the thing. Is like also like Doc's in the future, so he knows how to create gas.
Yeah.
He's a scientist. Make him make a fucking ice cube, but he can't make gas.
It's something.
Yeah.
And then
But anyway.
Their other like loophole fighting thing is the picture that's erasing, or like the piece of paper that no longer says you're fired. And I don't know, it's just dumb.
Well, they also have the picture of the grave.
Yeah, and those, like, all of those, it just keeps coming up. And I'm like, yeah, you've explained. This is the third movie of you telling us the...
Well, that's, like, their way of like, them judging of, like, are we doing the right move? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's... Well, I mean, that's the rules that are set up in the first one. And it's funny, because... I was like, oh, he's finding out a lot about his own future. Isn't that like the core thing of the first one is not to do that?
Doc is finding out a lot about his own future.
Yeah, and literally as I'm saying that, Mark points at the screen and he goes, aren't you learning too much about your own future? I was like, whoa.
The movie literally like anticipates Nick.
Yeah, I'm the most average viewer of a movie. So
yeah.
In test screenings, they're like, okay, yeah, we'll put it there.
There's like... Yeah, so Marty Oh wait, there's another. Yeah. So at one point they find a grave that has Doc's name on it, which and then Marty's like, I have to go back and save Doc, but like at the same time, like, okay, would Marty have just done this regardless? Because like you realize that if Doc was like 70 in 1885, he would probably be dead by 1955.
Yeah.
Like,
probably.
You know, like at the age that he was at. Man probably had like man was like living. That man was like 107 in like 1800 times. Like, you're lucky he was alive to like a year later.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, here's what my biggest plot hole, other than like, well, it's the second biggest plot hole because the first one is the siphon some fucking gas, dude. Plot hole. But this one is, so on the grave it says, remembered by his beloved Clara, which is to set up that Doc is going to fall in love in the film. But the problem is that Clara is supposed to die in a ravine before Doc would have ever met her. So how could she be the beloved Clara if, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
She paid for the gravestone hours after meeting him.
But no, because if he wouldn't have met her.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. She would have just died before she got to the town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I would say that's almost bigger than the car one.
I think the car one's worse because Doc has like this mental breakdown. He's like, there's not going to be any gas. I'm like, yeah, there's fucking gas like a mile away. Just fucking put a tube in there. Sucks them out.
He's got to distill it.
Like, you live in California, dude. Like, you should know this. You lived through the 70s.
Yeah, and it's a good point, too, where he makes the ice cube machine. He's got an idea what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, there's a cute trivia fact. There's a bit where they go to a fucking drive-in theater and Doc dresses Marty up in a cowboy outfit that looks like a 1950s cowboy caricature. And he's like, have you ever seen a Western, Marty? He's like, yeah, I've never seen Clint Eastwood dressed like this. And he's like, Clint who? And then Marty points to two posters on the thing that just so happened to be the first two movies Clint Eastwood ever acted in. Isn't that cute?
Yeah. I thought that was actually really cool.
It is cute, and I like it a lot, but
it's a nice little set design thing. There's a lot of little stuff like that. I think the art direction in this movie was probably my favorite of the three.
Okay.
I really like the hoverboard in the second one, but it's in this one too. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first one has the best because it has like the fucking plutonium outfit and stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I guess the car is such a great prop.
Yeah.
That was obviously made then.
Yeah. Yeah, so Marty there's also another thing where there's like on the drive-in screen there's like these Native American drawings or something. And he's just like, well, I want to crash into those Native Americans. And he's like, they aren't going to be there when you go back to 1885. But what's coming at Marty when he goes out to 1885? But Native Americans.
Oh my god,
who are never shown again.
Yeah,
weird.
It's also like that's another thing that gets explained again in this movie, where he's like, no, there'll be a bridge here because the bridge is there in the future. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't. Why do we have to keep teaching Marty these same lessons?
Well, because Marty's actually an idiot.
Yeah, it's in the same movie though.
But he does this every time because Marty's dumb.
It's padding time.
Also, Marty's like 17.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably like 20 by the end of this movie.
Well, he's a time traveler, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a weird decision in retrospect. Is that they introduced these Native American characters, or the caricatures really.
Yeah.
And then they never do anything else with it.
They don't even mention
a Wild West movie with no Native Americans.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so Marty goes to town and he hits his head and he wakes up, or we meet Irish Marty, his great grandfather, I think it is.
Yeah, something like that.
Something.
It's just, I saw him and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's Marty with an Irish accent.
Yeah.
And which I think is stupid, because like I said, incest. It's all it's saying. And then we do the wake up gag where he's like, "Mom, I had the craziest dream. There was Native Americans in a bear chasing me." And then she's like, "Well, you're back at the McFly farm." And he's like, "The McFly farm?"
The farm.
And he wakes up, "You're my. And he's like, Who are you? And it's just like, "I'm something McFly, and don't you forget it." And it's just like, well, first off, she doesn't have the same voice. She just looks the same. Yeah. Which is also now that's coming into question.
It's dumb.
Yeah. It's just like annoying that I get what they're trying to do is that history repeats itself, blah blah blah, but not to that extent.
Yeah, and I will give them a little bit of credit. A couple of the scenes where what's it called? The split? When they do he's playing two characters but it's in the same shot.
Oh yeah.
They just combine them over each other and like compound it. There's two of them that looked pretty good. One of them, there's like a harsh blocking where the wife walks in front of the camera so that they can do a switch.
Yeah.
And I was like, that wasn't terrible. Like, I don't think most people would have really noticed that.
You know, it's
a lot
seamless.
of it looked like shit though.
It's pretty seamless in this one.
There's a scene where they're talking to each other and you can, like, I feel like it's terrible. Like, I can tell that he's waiting for an action cue to start talking again. Well, it's like the timing of the conversation is off. Yeah. It's not natural.
Well, like, there's another movie that was released around the same time that does it way better called Dead Ringers. I feel like Zemeckis by this time was burnt out because he just done Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Back to the Future Part 2, and Back to the Future Part 3 back to back. And I feel like at that point, like, that guy's like, I want to go to bed.
I will say, I'm glad these were shot back to back because I think Bliff is perfect.
Biff.
Bliff is perfect.
Yeah.
And I would hate to think that his performance of when he's like the coward version of him it's just so good. I wonder if a year or two off would have really
like 1 and 2 were shot like 3 years apart, but it's just 2 and 3 were shot back to back.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, well, is the coward version's not in the first one, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, okay.
He's at the end, remember? Because that's the one that really hammers home, like, being poor sucks, being rich, it makes you actually happy.
Yeah, I guess it's not bad.
It's because he's probably the best of the actors.
He's incredible. I remember I forget what scene. It's something in like a bar when Mad Dog shows up, and he said one line, and I was like, "Wait, is that Biff?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit, it is!" Yeah. I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited." I don't know why I thought they would have cast somebody else as the bad guy, but
yeah, when they cast Michael J. Fox in 40 different roles,
yeah, they got their money's worth from everybody.
Yeah. What's also annoying is they show a picture of like the baby in this movie. You know the baby, like the first McFly born in America. They show him as an adult, and it's Michael J. Fox.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
I'm like, just cast another guy.
Yeah, anyone. Just say, "Oh my god, it's a McFly," and everybody will know what's going on.
Yeah.
If we don't have to have him be everybody.
Yeah, because this is making his dad look really fucking weird. Like, that guy just adopted, and then so, how did that seed still get through?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so he goes to the McFly farm, and like Marty, like they're like, "How'd you get so far without the boots or a hat?" And it's just like, "Oh, get it? It's so different." And he's like, "Oh, my horse broke down.
Yeah.
And a bear ate my boots. And I guess I forgot my hat." And then, like, they take him in because, like, the baby likes him. He's like, "The baby doesn't like strangers. He's, like, connected to us somehow."
Yep.
So get it? Because no one realized that these two men look exactly alike. This one has a beard.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would they not be like, sweetie, that guy looks exactly like you.
Yeah, except he doesn't have a beard. Except he doesn't have peach fuzz. Yeah. And there's all like the only person that recognizes that is fucking what's his face? Is Biff. The guy was supposed to be like notoriously stupid.
Yeah.
And like absent-minded. He's like, "Hey, you guys kind of look alike." Like there's like that part where he walks into
almanac.
Yeah, when he walks into the bar and he's like, hey, McFly, and he turns around and he's like, you're not McFly.
Oh,
you look
you're
like
right.
him, though.
Yeah.
With his stupid fucking hat.
Yeah. Then I did like, there's a gag that comes up right after that with, he does the shooting at the ground, so he dances, and he starts moonwalking.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, how is he moving like that?
Yeah. They also do, like, what's that on your feet? What are those weird moccasins?
Oh, yeah, he's got Nikes
What's
on.
that? Some kind of fucking weird fucking... I don't know what racial slur he probably says.
I believe he says Chinaman.
They say Chinaman a lot in this movie.
Yeah, there's during this time period, a lot of Chinese immigrants worked on the railroad.
Yeah,
but then they didn't cast any Chinese actors.
There's one Chinese extra I noticed.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, yeah, like this is the Back to the Future movie that really doesn't have any people of color in it.
Yeah,
like we don't even have a mayor.
Oh yeah.
They don't even have to, they can't do the Goldie Wilson joke at this time.
I'm surprised they didn't. Like just
have a Goldie Wilson thing.
Yeah.
Or it's like you have like a free slave or something.
Yeah. Running. That'd be cool.
Or just like have like a Freeman, and he just like mentions that he like they treat him like shit, and he's like, one day my kids are gonna fucking run, my ancestors are gonna run this town.
Oh, that'd be good.
Something. It's just something. But instead,
they give throwbacks to literally every other character.
Yeah, dude, Goldie Wilson got the fucking raw end in this trilogy. Like clearly, they had a big story for him in the first one that they completely cut out.
Yeah,
and even then, that's just our theory.
There's way too much of him for there not to have been something else.
At least 3 more scenes.
Yeah, at least, and even in the second one's so great. Wait, sorry, I'm combining the two. The future scenes from the first movie into the second movie when he's at the bar, or is it?
Oh, when he's at the like the.
Oh yeah, that's the past.
Nick, you're confusing the fuck out of me right now. See, there you go, the one extra.
I didn't even see him. It was so fast.
Yeah.
The when he goes to the soda bar and is like,
oh, and
he
he's
should
like,
be mayor.
And he's like, mayor. That sounds like, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I guess in my head a lot of.
All the good shit's in one.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that I thought was in two is actually just in one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. This one feels a lot more disconnected, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. Which I think adds to this one's strengths. I think like the problem with 2 is that they were just like, remember this gag? We're doing it again.
Yeah.
Oh, remember it again? We're going to do it a 3rd time. And I was like, all right.
You're going to love it.
Let's fucking calm down here.
I'm trying to think of other scenes that I really liked. The hanging scene is pretty good.
Yeah. So Griff or Mad Dog Tannen does not like Marty, or he calls himself Clint Eastwood. Big laugh. Whole audience applauds.
Yeah.
He gets into the dispute and he ends up getting like the tobacco spit all over him. And so they chase around, and then they decide to hang him, and but Doc saves him, and you find out that Doc is going to get killed for a matter of $80. Haha. And they reunite, and Marty's like, I came back to save you because you're going to get shot for $80. And Doc's like, oh, I should have paid him off instead of being like a little bitch.
Instead of threatening him
with a gun.
Winning. Yeah. That gun's a sick prop, too.
Which does not make any sense. Actually, it does make sense. Never mind. They explain it. Which is... It's so convoluted. So, to go into that, so they explain that Doc is going to get killed on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but Biff comes to kill him on a Saturday.
He goes, you're early.
And he goes, you're early. And he's like, yeah, this gun is very precise, but it's a slow death. Last person I shot, it took 2 days for him to die. Get it? Because in 2 days, it's going to be Monday.
I didn't even notice that.
Yep.
That's pretty good, though.
I just think that's like so stupid. It's just a way to get like conflict.
No, I bet there was like a continuity person who was like, oh, wait, we could probably add something here to make this more something. Rather than it just being like, we're just throwing something in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I want to say I love the town.
Yeah, the set's great in this. I think the wardrobe's awesome too.
Yeah, there's one dude at the fucking bar who just sounds like a prospector, and he rocks.
He's so great. Yeah. He might be my standout performance.
Yeah.
The whole crew that's in the bar of extras that have talking roles are just like exactly what I picture whenever I see a scene like this.
Yeah. Yeah, so Marty and Doc both come to the conclusion that they have to fucking go back to 1985, and then Marty's like, we need to get some gas, and then he's also, we don't have gas, so they try figuring out what to do. Horses don't work, alcohol in the engine doesn't work, which I think would have destroyed the engine.
It is, so the fuel, it blows the fuel injector or something blows off the car.
Yeah,
probably not the best for the rest of it. I was just thinking, he doesn't have the parts to build or repair the
fuel line.
DeLorean, but he builds a whole time-traveling train.
Well, I think...
Is it supposed to be their combined knowledge together or something?
No, I think what that's supposed to be is that if you gave Doc a couple of years, he could do it, but they have until Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
because Doc that takes Doc like at least like 5 years or longer.
I mean, you could probably go from how old. I'm not good at telling how old kids are, but the oldest kid looked like 5, 6, or 7, like that age.
So it probably took him like almost a decade to figure that out. But the Doc has till Monday until he gets a bullet in his back.
Yeah, maybe he should pay his debts.
Yeah, I also think it's kind of weird that Doc Brown is using his real name in 1885.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
This guy who's so like obsessed with
not ruining anything.
Yeah. Also, I like the idea that he also was just gonna stay.
Yeah.
This guy once again who's not cool with fucking with the time. But who fucking cares, right? We're in the West.
Yeah, it kind of bothers me. That's why I think the first one's so perfect, because they don't have to think about these like, oh well, maybe there's like a blurred line of what he would and wouldn't do. Yeah,
it's more of that the first one has everything such in a bottle. Yeah, that it's like it's so tight, and there's no reason to complain, because it's just like we gotta get Marty back. Marty does not want to stay; he needs to get back. Yeah. But then it's just like, we got to bring Marty to the future to help his kids, even though his life's already messed up by this point. So who cares? Yeah. And then, but also we have to go back to 1955 because Biff is like a dictator in Hill Valley now. And it's just like, what? Like, Doc, why would you bring him back to the future anyway? And then also, like, and then this one's like, Doc, why would you stay in the past? Like, you should be fucking working.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's probably my biggest problem with it.
Yeah.
The first one's too good because it's all nice and bottled up. And then it's just the more it expands, the looser everything gets.
Yeah. Or the things that are important become looser, but the things that aren't important become too convoluted and tight. Yeah. Where it's just like, we need to have the same gags every movie. Like, Biff's got to fall in the manure.
Yeah, that's...
We gotta have the thing where Marty wakes up and Lea Thompson's there. We gotta have the bit where we have to have another Marty.
He has to say Back to the Future.
He's gotta say Great Scott.
I do. The first Great Scott's really good.
Oh, when Marty says it?
Yeah.
Marty and Doc trade catchphrases, Great Scott, and Doc says this is heavy. Yeah. It's a good moment.
And they said, just have him keep saying Great Scott. People love it.
So the Marty and Doc decide they're going to use a train to go get to 88, which is a good scene because they ask the conductor, like, theoretically, could this get to 90?
I heard about somebody going 70.
And they're like, well, could it get to 90? And they're like, well, I guess. Like, I don't know why you'd ever want to go that fast. He's like, this is a bet where between me and my friend.
He's like, why would you ever need to be in that much of a hurry?
Yeah. And while they're figuring this out, that's when they hear some screams from. Oh yeah, we have to explain that the whole like the bridge is gonna be there because the ravine. And Marty's like, we can't wait a whole year for the bridge to get built. And he's like, Marty, remember, these things aren't, remember what happened in the last two movies.
Remember the Native American painting? It wasn't there.
Yeah. Wait, did that ever happen in the other movies?
I mean, he's like the whole lightning scene. He's driving into a movie theater.
Well, the movie theater is there.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. There's definitely something. Wait.
Yeah, I think this is the first time they brought it up.
No, because he crashes into something, doesn't he?
He crashes into like the farmland.
Yeah.
But like, Doc wasn't prepared for that because Doc never did it, so he never warned Marty about it.
Yeah.
Because Marty's like shocked by it.
I
think they never do it.
Well, I'm glad they do it twice in this fucking movie. Because I didn't understand it the first time. I guess I just like...
Well, this is
I guess
Marty
it was just common sense when I watched the first one. That I was like, oh yeah. Stuff would change because nothing stays the same.
Yeah. But yeah, they hear a scream and it's Clara Clayton. They save her from dying. And Doc and her fall in love immediately. She's played by Martys Steenburgen, which is ironic because her first movie was a Western and her second movie was a time-traveling movie. Isn't that ironic?
And now she's in a Western time-traveling movie.
Ha 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 ha.
Wow.
I have to say her first time-traveling movie was better. Time of Time, great movie. A lot darker than these movies too.
Good.
It's a lot more cynical. It's about, you want to know what it's about?
Yeah.
It's about, so H.G. Wells makes a time machine.
Yep.
And he shows it to his friends. He's like, look at this shit. And then the police show up at his house and they're like, so Jack the Ripper struck again. And they're like, we think he might be in this house. And they find out one of the guys is gone. And he's like, that guy was Jack the fucking Ripper. But now he's in 1970s San Francisco murdering people. And so H.G. Wells has to go back to the future. He has to go to the future to stop Jack the Ripper.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
This movie is too happy. Nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
That takes so much away from movies for me. It's just... And it just, at the end, it just keeps piling it on.
Yeah, Nick needs On Her Majesty's Secret Service or bust.
I just need something. I just need good time.
Yeah.
I just want to feel nothing at the end of the movie.
Nick just needs to, Nick needs a nihilistic, cynical ending or he's not having it.
Yeah.
He needs to see Clara Clayton get her fucking brains blown out by the police.
I'm always expecting Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
And then I will say, genuinely... I will sit there and wait for the bad thing to happen. And usually it will ruin some movies for me. Because I'll be like, damn, if they had just killed him, that would have really taken that movie to another level for me. But I guess he's just happy. This is a spoiler for a Breaking Bad thing. But the movie El Camino, I was like, ooh, it'd be nice if Jesse died. And then he just lives happily ever after in Alaska.
Jesse deserved to live happily ever after the shit he went through.
I know. I just wanted him to die, though.
Everyone needs to die, Nick.
Everyone dies, though, Mark.
Yeah, but they don't have to see it.
You gotta live through it, man.
Nick, what at the end of Return of the Jedi? Oh, why didn't Luke die? Because he doesn't need to die.
Luke should have died. He should have gone down with the mission.
Oh my god. But anyway,
should have not been able to fire and had to slam his X-wing into the exhaust port.
Yeah.
So
Doc's arc then is just him simping for Clara and Clara being head over heels with him and Marty being like, come on, Doc. I mean, I know I was the guy who was going to bring a Sparks Almanac back to make him a billionaire, but you falling in love with a girl?
I don't know. He should have just stayed. I don't get it.
Doc?
Yeah.
Well, he did.
I know, but why did it have to be this whole big thing?
Well, because...
I think because the movie has to happen, of course.
Yeah, well, with that, it's more of because Doc staying is the wrong thing to do, logically. Yeah. We're thinking Vulcan here. It's against the rules. Doc's in the future. He's a scientist. This is tampering with time. This is not a good thing. Butterfly effects, bad stuff. But here's the thing, is that because they've altered time with Clara to begin with, Clara should be going to the future. Because Clara is not supposed to be here. Clara was supposed to die. They prevented that. So that's going to cause a chain reaction to things, and Marty's family's going to become poor. We don't want that to happen. So she should be going to the future with them.
Yeah.
Like, there's no conflict there. The only conflict is that Doc isn't thinking clearly, which is like, I don't see how he wouldn't be. Like, I don't see how that wouldn't be crossing his mind.
Yeah. Because
he brings it up. He's like, I shouldn't have built a time machine because we literally just prevented this thing from happening. And it's just like, yeah. So, to fix that, just bring her to the future. And because she's also like, you're crazy, you're not from the future. All right, get in this fucking car. And he's like, what's a car? I'm like, exactly, get in. I'm about to blow your fucking mind. I'm about to show you a Star Wars movie.
What stars?
Yeah. There's wars in the stars now?
I forget what I was going to say about it.
I like Clara, though. I think her and Doc are a cute couple.
Yeah, that's why I guess I kind of wanted the happy ending for them.
He didn't want it for Marty.
Yeah. Marty should have got hit by the fucking train.
Yeah.
Because, I guess it would have been a happy ending for them if he was like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to live out my life in this. Because everything had already happened in his future. Because the grave was there. The car was there. Like, everything he had done, he just dies. I guess you want to save him, but...
I mean, yeah. But, like, I don't know.
Like, what else more could he do? Invent a time-traveling train? Oh, he does that anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would have been the happier ending if he brought her to the future, but I guess that's too much like time after time.
I think you're right, though. I think that would have been the happier ending if he was like, I'm just going to take you to the future, and you should explain she should have died, and then take her. Because then it would still have been Clara Ravine. Yeah.
And that would have explained. He would have fixed the problem.
Yeah, close the loop.
Yeah,
but now we'll just make it east.
But that's literally the ending of Time After Time. Is that H.G. Wells falls in love with Mary Steenburgen, and then she decides to go with him to the future. She just has to go to the past with him instead, which I'm like, that's weird.
That's stupid. Can I bring my cell phone?
Yeah. From the 70s.
Yeah, and then there's no service.
Yeah.
Just have this giant suitcase for no reason.
Yeah. So there's a great scene where they go to like a fair or a carnival. What is it? Or it's the opening of the clock tower, but they don't have the clock up yet, so it's not really an opening of it.
They have this big ass clock mechanism on the ground that has to be eventually lifted into the building, and I imagine you would have it in pieces and build it up there as opposed to trying to build it on the ground and then move it up.
You bring it up.
Yeah, but it's such fine mechanisms. It's like literally a watch. If I hit my watch on the wall, it doesn't keep time anymore.
Yeah. I mean, true, but
I don't know. But I also have no idea how they did it back in the day. And it looks monstrous too.
Yeah, they do the pulley. Pull it up.
Looks a little big.
Well, yeah, that's why you have like 40 dudes doing it. You have a whole town doing it.
Yeah.
But I like that scene. I have the thing where like Doc and Marty, their whole like we don't tamper with history. They take a photo.
Yep.
And then Marty does the thing where instead of playing with the arcade game where he shoots like the guys from in 2, he does it with a real gun and he can still do it, which is like, that's not how guns work.
No, the arcade game has.
It's not a piece of plastic; it has weight to it.
Yeah.
So way Marty did it would not work. But then Doc gets funky. He starts dancing with Clara. And that stuff rocks because it's him. I like the bit where he's like, "You look great." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." And he looks like, "What did I say?" Fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Oh, Doc, you're fucking head over heels right now." And I like the bit where he drops off Clara, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll definitely be seeing you around. You'll see me a lot. You're gonna see a lot of me." And then Marty's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'll just maybe see her in town, dude." And it's just like the boys being boys.
He's literally like supposed to work with her though, because the mayor is like, "Hey, the new Clara's coming."
Well, he was supposed to pick her up.
Oh, okay. I thought he was.
That's
supposed
another
to work
pothole.
with her. Yeah,
because if she was supposed to die in the ravine,
Yeah, wait, he should have been there to pick her up.
If Marty wasn't there.
Dumb.
Like I said, this one has the most plot holes. This is the most convoluted one, which is strange. I think this 2 is like ridiculous.
It's got good art direction though, so I'll give it a little pass.
The thing is, you don't think about it when you're watching the movie.
What, the loopholes?
Yeah. I mean, when you're watching Back to the Future 3, you're not really thinking of like, why is this happening? Like, why is the Clara thing? I'm only doing it because I've seen this movie 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about it, and I have to do this thing where I be cynical about everything. But like when you're watching like 2 and 3, you don't really think about the plot holes, except for 2. You think like, why did Marty have to go back? Why did Marty have to go to the future? Do this thing with this kid. I don't get that. But anyway, Bulldog shows up and he's like, I'm gonna shoot you in the back, and Marty prevents that from happening, and Doc's hat goes flying, and then he's like, leave my friends alone, Mad Dog, and he's like, and he starts walking away. He's like, what are you, yellow? Oh, the chicken thing that was introduced in the last movie.
Yeah, I hate that stuff.
And he agrees to have a showdown on Monday at 8:00. But they have it's actually a good bit because they're like, I'll kill you tonight, and they're like, the sheriff has our guns. He's like, all right, I'll kill you tomorrow. Actually, we're robbing the bank tomorrow. Yeah. What about Monday? Are we doing anything on Monday? He's like, no, you can kill him on Monday.
That's a really good scene.
And he's like,
that's probably the funniest scene for me in the movie.
Yeah. And he's like, all right, 7:00. I like to kill my killing before breakfast. He's like, 8:00. I like to do my killing after breakfast. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then Irish Marty's like, why did you do that? And he's like, because you called me chick.
Just be nice.
He's like, my brother, who also looked exactly like me. He
wasn't a flashback.
He got killed because someone called him chicken. Why would you want to do that? And then Marty's like, oh man, everything bad happens because they call me chicken. Yeah. Oh.
And then they talk about the future.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, actually, you get in an accident.
Yeah, Doc lets it slip, and he's like, I'm not telling you anymore, even though you've literally told 1955 version of myself everything.
And I just gave you the important details of that story.
Brings up an interesting plot point. So, if Marty's telling 1955 Doc all these things that are happening, or like when he shows up in 1955 and he's like, 1885 letter, here you go. 1, Doc could not prevent said thing.
Yeah.
2, wouldn't Doc? So let's take family, future thing into consideration. You know how so they have no memory of their past. Mm-hmm. So wouldn't this Doc's brain be changed by the time Marty got back to 1885 to know that Marty was going to 1885?
Huh.
Because that is a younger Doc. This is older Doc.
That's interesting. That's a really good point. I think that's probably one of the better examples of how these loopholes happen. When you show the same fucking scene at the beginning of every movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's just asking for a problem like that to happen.
Yeah, because we've already established that once these things happen, nobody has memory of said thing. Mm-hmm. Which is also weird that Jennifer has the memory of it. Mm-hmm. Because when Jennifer getting changed.
Maybe because because then she could just forget what the thing is. The piece of paper she had.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's getting worse and worse the more we talk about it.
Yeah. It makes your head. It makes your. There's a good bit in The Spy Who Shagged Me where they do this, where Austin's explaining. He's like, well, if I go back and one of my memories changed, and he's like, oh no, I've gone cross-eyed, and then Basil Exposition's like, I suggest you don't worry about this sort of thing and just enjoy yourself. And he looks in the camera, and that goes for you all too. And then Austin looks in the camera, yeah.
The part where he goes cross-eyed is great too.
Yeah.
I can actually picture that scene. Good movies.
Yeah. Now those are good time travel movies.
Yeah. The Mojo Stealers.
Yeah, but so then they have the whole thing where Doc's got to say goodbye to Clara, and he's like, I'm from the future, and she's like, oh, we have to have the stupid thing where he's like, oh, you've read Jules Verne? She's like, I adore Jules Verne. He's like, oh, when I was a kid. She's like, how would you know that? That only came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then he says goodbye to Clara, and she's like, I hate you, blah, 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 because you're lying to me. You literally lost your virginity to me. I took your virginity, and now you're leaving.
Yeah. Why does this always happen to me?
Yeah. I always fuck like these 70-year-old virgins. And then he does like, then they decide to go to the thing, but he goes to a bar first, and he grabs whiskey, and the bartender's like, remember what happened? And the guy's like, you're upset about a woman. And then he starts ranting and raving about the future, never drinking his whiskey, which is a fun detail.
Yeah.
Then Marty wakes up. He's like, where is Doc? I gotta go get him. And he's in the bar, and Doc's still talking about the future, still holding this one glass of whiskey that he has not touched.
Yeah. I thought that was actually a really good visual gag.
Yeah. And then and then like he's like, Doc, you gotta go, and he's like, you're right, let's go. And he takes the shot of the whiskey, and then he just like puckers his lips, and he just fucking knocks out and goes to it. That's my favorite part of the movie.
The tables. That must have been a stunt double, but it's a good fall.
The slow fall is what makes it. The slow, he just like looks off, then he just slowly descends. That's my favorite bit.
My favorite. It's actually right after that. They give him the wake up juice.
Yeah.
And he wakes up and runs out to the trough and smashes his face in it, and they run over to save him, and they're like, he's still asleep. Yeah. Like, that was pretty good.
I also like the bit where he's just like, Jesus Christ, how many did he have? He's just the one. And Marty's like, just the one?
Yeah. Just like breaks the momentum that's going on.
Oh yeah, ZZ Top's in this movie. But anyway, one of the dudes in the bar is on the train, and Clara just happens to be on the train because she's dipping. She's leaving her job as a teacher before ever working.
Before starting.
Deadbeat. She needs to leave this town, even though Emmett literally said he's leaving the town.
Yeah. No, maybe he was lying about that.
Yeah. Whatever. And the guy's like, a man was broken up last night. Talk about this girl, Clara Clayton. And she's like, excuse me, does he have a... Did he look like this guy? And he's like, yeah, sure did. And it's like, yeah, because the guy was totally talking about another Clara Clayton.
Yeah, did he look like the only guy I've talked to in that entire town?
Yeah. Or did he have an Irish accent?
Yeah. Oh, it's that guy?
No, I'm not going back for that guy. Marty, by this point, Bill Dog Tannen's there, and they have to have the showdown, but he's like calling Marty out, and he's like, you're a yella. And Irish Marty's looking at him, and he's like, he's an asshole. I'm not going to go fight him.
Yeah.
I don't care what he says. I'm cured of my weird insecurity, because even though I really didn't confront it.
That's a good point, too. There's really no reason that he's getting over it.
The only reason why is because fucking Doc told him he was going to fucking get in a car accident.
Yeah, and even then it's like, oh, I get in a car accident?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's like, then they run out, and then they start to fight. He has to fight Bull Tannen anyway, but he does the thing where Clint Eastwood put the metal plate on his chest, and so he gets shot, but it doesn't kill him, even though I guarantee that would not have worked.
It might have.
The Clint Eastwood one would have, because he came in there prepared to do it. So
what if they shot me in the head?
Yeah. What if he shot him in any other body part?
Yeah.
Guy would have had a big marble in his leg for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Cool story, though.
Yeah. And then he beats up Tannen, and then Tannen falls in the manure. And they're like, get him out of that shit. Which I thought was funny.
I did like the use of shit in this movie. Yeah. I was like, I like that.
Yeah. I think that the manure thing doesn't work because it's not Biff.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have like that thing where Biff hit. I think the best one is in 2 when he hits the truck the second time and he gets covered. Yeah. He's like, manure! I hate manure!
Yeah.
Like that works because it's the same guy having the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. He doesn't know he's gonna have that problem yet.
Yeah. Or his great grandson's gonna have this problem. Who does happens look exactly like him?
A generational issue.
Yeah. But and they they go in, and then he hands Irish Marty the gun that he was given. He's like, buy something with it. Maybe I'll buy a new hat.
Yeah, it's worth $12.
Yeah, which that gun's worth way more than $12. It was like they said it was a brand new model.
Yeah,
like get the fuck $12.
There's
fucking Biff's horseshoe is worth more. Come on.
Yeah. What does Marty know about the economy going on in this different timeline that he's been in for all of
a weekend?
2 days? Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't know inflation.
Why doesn't know shit, dude? But they go back. They go on the train. They rob it, but they add the bandit masks.
They borrow it
for a sign. Yeah, they borrow it, even though by destroying it.
Yeah.
IOUs, I guess. Yeah, how did Doc's gonna explain that one?
Yeah, he says.
Well, because he stays, and clearly it's Doc.
Oh yeah. No, he had a bandana on.
Yeah. There's so many wild, white-haired 70-year-old men.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. They're like, how are you so old?
Yeah.
Everyone dies when they're like 50.
Yeah. And yet you are like looking like you're... Well, okay. I don't know. Okay. But, yeah, they do the train thing. It's suspenseful. But Clara gets in. She's like, Doc, I love you. And he's like, what? I never would have put those things together. Yeah. Even though you gave me like the flower thing and we had sex and like we talked about Jules Verne and you cried when I said I was leaving.
Yep.
And so there's a thing where Clara gets stuck. Marty throws the hoverboard. Doc gets on it. He saves Clara, but he can't get in the car fast enough. They just float away in a really terrible green screen.
It's so bad. It's so much worse than the train at the end, and the train at the end's pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, it still looks better than 90% of the MCU. But he...
Such a hater.
I am a hater. I hate things so they're popular. I
love the idea that you gatekeep CG, but will get a full back tattoo of Jar Jar Binks. You're like, that's good CG.
Jar Jar is good CG.
He's all right.
For $19.99.
Yeah. I mean, he's no fucking T-Rex, and I almost said Jaws.
And yeah, in Jurassic Park, I mean, no, but that was half CG. Jar Jar's full CG.
He's not like, what was it? I don't think it was Gollum. I think it was Dobby.
Dobby?
Dobby, yeah.
Yeah.
He was orange on a stick. It was the tracking they had for him. So he's not full CG either. He's basically a puppet at that point.
Well, they CGI'd over a guy. Like Ahmed Best was on set in a Jar Jar costume the whole time, which is hilarious to look at.
Yeah, I'll have to look at pictures of that.
It's awesome. Nick, how many times did I tell you? Phantom Menace is the best movie ever made. P. Yusa.
I wonder if we were doing the Bonding with Bond. I think we talked about you not liking Phantom in the first maybe 10 episodes or something.
Yeah, that probably happened.
Yeah, there's a nice...
I've turned around.
Nice record of you flip-flopping on history.
Yeah. Well, I went back in time. I prevented myself from rewatching it.
You said put more Jar Jar in.
Yeah, and then I was like,
George Lucas's ear.
It fit better. I don't know. I watched it last time. Last time I watched it, I thought like this is good. This rules.
This is realistic. What did you say? It?
I said it rules.
Oh, I thought you said it's realistic.
Yeah, it's like a documentary.
This is actually what happened.
You've never been to the Gungan City?
Dude, it's underwater. I can't breathe there.
Yeah, well, learn. No, because when I watched it during Bonding with Bond, I was at my most cynical about Star Wars. Then I realized, like, no, I like stupid alien puppets and designs.
Like now, I can appreciate the art of Jar Jar.
Yeah, I just want to watch like Dark Crystal. That's all I want to watch now. Labyrinth rules.
It's all practical effects. That's where it's at.
But anyway, Marty ends up back in 1985. and he's
the rich version.
Yeah, the rich version can't be poor, or we won't be happy. He ends up on the train tracks, and all these cars are honking at him, and like Nick's like, "Why are they honking at him?" And I'm like, "Nick, they're waiting for the train to come because there's a train coming."
So the way those go down is there's a sensor on the rail, like a quarter mile away. So I thought the car had just hit the sensor, and they were like, "That's not a train, that's a car."
Yeah,
and I was like, they're kind of rare to see, but there's maintenance vehicles for railroad tracks that are. It's just like a 350 truck with an attachment that lowers. That's the wheels to ride on railroad tracks. And I was like, I mean, it's not like that outlandish.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he gets obliterated by a train and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, Marty almost dies.
Yeah.
That would have been great after he goes through all this shit, he just gets fucking annihilated by a train.
That would be.
If he just got there a second longer. After that, he goes to Jennifer, and Jennifer wakes up. She's like, "I had the craziest dream. Why are you looking like a cowboy?" Actually, no, he goes to his house first to go pick up his truck.
Because Biff's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah, he's like, "Watch your butt." Oh, Marty.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Marty.
Yeah. And then and then his family, why dress up as a cowboy? And then they also have not Crispin Glover in the background being like, "Where are my glasses? I'm wearing sunglasses now so you can't see my face." Yeah.
I'm wearing this entire face mask, this welding mask,
because the original actor has dignity.
Yep. The second he was like, "Oh, thank God, everybody's back to normal." I was like, "Bro, this isn't normal. This is the like corrupt future you made yourself."
Yeah, this is the version that like you spent literally 15 seconds with before you had to go into the future with Doc.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know any of these people. You and your dad have completely different memories of your childhood.
I wonder if they did that because they couldn't get the dad actor to come back. And they were like, whatever, just...
No, because this is Zemeckis' idea of a happy ending, is that he's rich.
Yeah.
That's the moral of Back to the Future, is that if you're not rich, you're not happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Duh.
Yeah. He's like, money buys his family happiness, not the love they have of each other.
Guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any of the chart stuff ready.
Yeah. But then he goes pick up Jennifer. Jennifer's like, "I had a crazy dream." And then they go in the car, and then Flea shows up, and he's like, "Let's race." And then Marty doesn't race, starts to race him, and then he ends up not. He's like, "You think I really race that asshole?" And it's like, "Yeah, you would have if you didn't go through this weird Western experience."
Yeah.
And then the "you're fired" thing disappears because he doesn't get in the car accident with the Rolls Royce. And then he goes to the train tracks to look at the destroyed DeLorean, and Doc shows up in a train time machine that runs on steam, which, get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
And he has 2 kids, which don't tamper with time, fucking Emmett Brown.
Oops, I did it.
Yeah, spreading his fucking seed.
It was actually, I think I'll create a whole new family line that's born before me.
Yeah. A good thing you know in the future that you're a virgin for like 70 years, because otherwise then your fucking self could have had a big problem in high school dating the other Emmett Brown.
Oh, God. That would have been something.
And he has to be like, the future is unwritten, blah, blah, blah. Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Where in Terminator 2 it comes off as like deep and thought-provoking and like really like interesting and optimistic. This one comes off as just like, it's a happy ending. We can't have, ever since E.T., we can't have bad endings. There's no Empire Strikes Back for the Back to the Future films. They're all A New Hope, start to finish.
It's perfect. I just want to always be happy and not have feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I love these movies. I think they're great, and I have a lot of nostalgia for them. But I feel like if these movies did not have Christopher Lloyd as Emmett Brown, and like Crispin Glover as the dad and Thomas Wilson as Biff, these movies would be fucking horrendous.
Yeah. If Marty was carrying these movies, it would be real bad.
Like, it's because of the energy of the actors that make you not care about all the stupid inconsistencies that we're bitching about. But because it's like something you think about later, but when you're watching it, it's like super fun and great. But outside of that, it's like a train wreck. They got a train wreck. Isn't that fun? And then
ooh, fun.
And then Doc and his children. Oh yeah, I know the kid does this weird thing with his hands. He does this for some reason.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I'll pull it up later. But he and then they fly off in the flying train, which doesn't make sense because the only reason why Doc could fly was because he got it souped up in 2015. But whatever.
Yeah, there's no way he remembers.
Yeah, how would he meet the flux capacitor?
Yeah, whatever. I was about to. It was some with the hand thing. Was the kid making fun of Parkinson's?
No.
Okay.
This is
kind of messed up.
He didn't have Parkinson's yet.
Okay, good. Whew. I was genuinely kind of worried.
I think he got it in the mid-90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's doing all right still.
Yeah.
You want to do the checklist stuff?
Sure.
Or the ratings, rather, not checklist.
Yeah.
The first one's story. I'm going 3.
I'm going 3.5.
Oh. No, that feels... I'm okay with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, I think the plot holes should take a lot off, but I think that's a fair rating. I
think it takes a lot off, but at the same time, like I said, I don't notice it when I'm not watching the movie. Like when I'm watching the movie, I don't care. Especially when if I'm watching it just for fun, I don't give a shit. But when I'm watching it for a podcast, yeah, I'm gonna be a fucking analytical dick about everything.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you gotta.
Yeah.
Directing, which
3.5. I feel like the direction on these movies gets weaker. Although I think it's better on this one than it is in 2.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, in retrospect, I feel like this one has a clear like vision of what he wants to do, whereas the other one he's just like, I wrote. It's like I wrote a 6-part story, but I'm gonna do it in 3.
Yeah, and 4 of them are gonna be in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I hadn't really thought about that aspect of it. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 3.
It'd be like if like George Lucas was like, he wrote Star Wars, but he didn't think he was gonna do a trilogy, so he crammed A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and turned right into one movie.
Yeah.
You're a mad lad.
And this is a bad movie. Acting.
4 star. 4.5.
Oh,
fucking Mary Steenburgen.
We almost
rocks.
Agreed. I said 4. I think everybody's good, but I don't like Marty, and Marty's in it twice.
Yeah. I mean, I give it 4.5 because I love Doc Brown.
Yeah,
I love me some. I love some Bulldog Buchanan.
Yeah.
I love some Mary Steenburgen as Clara Clayton. And I love those fucking Saloon Boys.
Yeah, the Saloon Boys are gonna be my standout performance.
Yeah.
Did you want to just do it now?
No.
Okay. Cinematography.
I
gave it a 3. There's some cool shots when the trains are going.
Yeah. 3.5. I feel like there's something wrong with the color palette in these sequels.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely worse than the second one.
Yeah.
This one, I'm okay with most of it.
Yeah, Dean Cundey is known for using shadows and using a lot of blue hues, he did the early John Carpenter movies, like The Thing and all that. So you know what I'm talking about? How he uses a lot of yellow lights and blue, and
especially in The Thing.
Yeah, like in Halloween, everything's drenched in blue.
Yeah,
he's used
building.
He uses a lot of dark contrast and shadows, and he uses it a bit in Back to the Future 1. But here it feels like every shadow there's no dark shadow. It's like a light gray.
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's because of all the effects that they have to add in later that he's not able to do it properly. I don't know. That's just a theory. Like, look at this scene. Like it's like nighttime, but it's like,
dude, look at
barely
Marty just completely in black.
Like it doesn't look like it's lit right. I don't know.
Not a fan.
Like, where's that blue coming from? I don't know. Because the moon was on the other side a couple seconds ago.
Yeah. There's also shadows from different directions.
Yeah.
They both have double shadow.
Yeah, where's that light?
Yeah. Terrible. Score 1.
I love it. 5.
Is really? I can't remember a single thing. That might be the most different we've ever had on
the show.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think maybe something with Bond?
It was definitely Daniel Craig things.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you'd throw like 0.5.
Yeah, that was when I was my most brutal.
Art direction, I'll give that a 5.
I give it a 4.
Any reason?
Yeah, because you give it a 5.
Oh, okay.
No, it feels like it doesn't feel like it's good. It's a Western, but it feels like a 1960s television version of a Western, not like a real Western.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, it doesn't look like the good, the bad.
All.
Like, yeah, it's a Western, not one person sweats.
Yeah. It's interesting. I guess I give it more leeway where I feel like this is a family movie. Because there was a part where
that's fair.
Bulldog gets punched, and I was like, oh, no blood? Not even like a little dribble on his lip?
He did.
Oh, okay. It didn't, because he's a good example. He is very dirty.
Yeah.
He's not very sweaty, but he's.
I'll give it a 4.5.
His face is like borderlining like brown face.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
he's like almost like Klingon.
When I first saw him, oh yeah, that's a perfect example. When I first saw him, I was like, oh, please don't be like, oh, Bandetto, or like try to do something.
Oh yeah,
Mexican.
Yeah,
I was like, please no. Oh, we dodged a bullet there. And then editing.
This was the only one that I didn't notice there being like a subplot being completely cut out of the movie, so I'm gonna give it 4.
Yeah.
Whereas with the other ones, there's clearly always a subplot that's being ripped out of the movie. I don't remember what number 2's was, but I know that there was. There had to have been one. Because there had to be more things to the future than there was.
Yeah, I'm
Marty's
with you.
kids. Like, they had to be another reason why he was there.
Yeah. Or even just more of that family dynamic rather than that one scene.
Yeah. And then with 1, it's clear that there was something with Goldie Wilson they cut out. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like I was wrong this whole time. Everyone's be like, there was nothing with the Goldie Wilson thing in the original script. And then if so, then why have it?
That'd be
If there wasn't, then that's worse.
Yeah, then you really messed up.
Yeah.
And standout performance, which is guys in bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Irish Marty McFly. No, I'm gonna go with Clara Clayton.
Nice.
Nah, Bulldog. I'm gonna go Bulldog.
Yeah, I would say it's either Bulldog or his squad's pretty good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not. I think Clara kind of falls a little bit flat in some of the scenes for me. I think she definitely comes back at the end.
Yeah. Well, because they give her like that stupid thing that they have in like all these movies where it's like, oh, they have to separate.
Yep.
But then they're gonna come back. They're the romantic comedy trope, which is like, or to quote a great philosopher from 1999. Oh, P. Yusa.
Oh God. It's the second one of this podcast.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's an alright movie. It's a good trilogy, but
definitely good trilogy.
Yeah, but is it in the pantheon of trilogies that should it be in the pantheon of trilogies that it's put on? I don't think so.
I don't either. The first one is definitely a timeless movie.
Yeah.
This one, I think I was expecting to like this more, honestly.
Yeah.
but
yeah, I when it comes to like other trilogies, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Dead trilogy, the Evil Dead trilogy, the Star Wars trilogy, the prequel trilogy, there's nothing but bangers I'm listing here.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up. If I can name a lot of trilogies that are better than this trilogy, like that's kind of saying something. Yeah, it just feels like it becomes more of a corporate product as it goes on.
Yeah,
it feels like they didn't really want to do it, but they had to do it, so they did the easiest thing they could do, which is just remake the first one over and over again by doing the same beats over and over again.
Yeah,
rather than doing something new, which sometimes that ruins a trilogy, like Jurassic Park, but at least Jurassic Park tried.
Yeah,
like Lost World, it sucks, but they tried.
And now they're trying again.
Yeah, and they keep failing. They don't. That's impressive. They never learned their lesson there, and that's impressive. They fucked up 6 times. They still won't learn.
Yeah, they're not gonna let it get away.
Or 5 times, whatever. But anyway, that's Back to the Future 3. Next week is Undecided.
Yeah,
where we might do North by Northwest. We might start another trilogy. Who knows? We might do a Bronx Tale. I don't know. I have a lot of lists here of like movies we want to get through. But Halloween's around the corner, so that's the thing.
We'll see what to do.
All right. Any final thoughts on the trilogy, Nick, that you want to get out there?
I don't think so. I think we covered it in the podcast. It was all right. First one good.
Mm-hmm.
First one great.
Okay. Well, have a good one.
Yeah, see you, everybody.